Let's give it a second, wait until we're live. Gonna preview and test the audio to see if everything works here. Let's give it a second, wait. Okay, looks like everything works. Gonna minimize this window here. Get it going. Hello everyone, welcome to today's live stream. Today we're gonna be recreating a track, or taking a track as inspiration by Cafe de Anatolia. They've recently put out a mix called Italy, and I was really inspired to go into this direction. Ethnic house, organic house is what I would like to call this genre that we'll be diving into today. And for this specific live stream, we're going to be referencing the track by DeepFade and Cafe de Anatolia called L'amore È Eterno. I hope I pronounced that wrong. Please don't be mad if I did not. Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. I just really enjoyed this track. I really enjoyed this mix by Lino Tenerife, which is why, as a dedication to that, I'm going to be creating this track over here. So first of all, let's give this track a quick little listen. I'm going to have to be a bit more attentive because of the copyright and everything. But yeah, let's see how this sounds like. Really love the drums here. And I just purchased the track off Beatport, and now I'm going to be referencing it. So I'm going to go through the track by starting off with the BPM. Let's adjust the BPM. Oops. Let's make sure the kick is also playing on the 1 so we can really dial in on the correct BPM here. Let's just zoom in, but it looks like it's starting on the 1 perfectly. We should be able to find out the BPM here. 119, yeah. Okay, 119 is actually one of my favorite BPMs, so that's perfect. I'm going to start off with the first loop that we have here, which is, I believe, 16 bars. We're just going to split it at this point. We're going to put this track at the very top of our session. First, we're just going to focus on selecting the right sounds. I usually like starting off with the kick, so what I'm going to do specifically here is load up a span on this layer to be able to reference the frequency at any time, the frequency spectrum, just as a bit of an overview. It doesn't need to be perfect. Okay. Yeah, let's start with the kick. I'm gonna also create 3 separate audio tracks to see if we can get a reference of how the kick actually looks like. Because I believe the kick is something we need to spend more time on getting right. Just gonna, let's take this entire kick here and split it to 3 separate audio channels. And on each individual audio channel, we're gonna load up a multi-band. Just double check if the stream is live. Yes, looks good. Welcome everybody that's here. So let's set the fades properly like this. And let's group these tracks together. Call them kicks. Give them the same color. And on each and every single one of these tracks, we're going to load up a multi-band dynamic. So that should be in the dynamics, multi-band dynamics. There we go. Paste it there, copy, paste, paste. And now we're going to solo the high layer, solo the mid layer on the middle track, and the lows on the track here on the bottom. Select all, and we're going to freeze tracks, and now select all again, flatten tracks. So we get the exact frequency distribution of the kick within 3 layers. So the highs we can now dial back down a bit here. The mids too, and the lows, they look pretty good. So this would be the kick. Of course, there's a bit of a hi-hat at the beginning here, as you can hear. We usually don't want that. But just to get an estimate of how the kick sounds, we're gonna dial in on those frequencies individually. See, now it sounds less like a hi-hat, more like an actual kick. And then you can create a new audio track beneath the kicks. Hit resampling, record arm, and then record. So this is the kick here. Now we get to see how the kick actually looks like. So we're going to delete the original kicks layer. And it looks very similar to what we have here. So there seems to be a bit of a squelch at the beginning. Not as much transient in comparison to the body or the tail of the kick. So that's what I would consider to be a squelchy kick. Usually my kicks, the kicks that I use, they have, let me just show you a reference of the kicks that I personally love to use a lot. I know that I have some in Tulum. One shot kicks. There's one called Solid AF. Yeah, these are usually the ones that I love to use the most because these have a pretty even distribution. You see there's a slight like dip at the beginning, but it's not as intense as this one. But this just shows you that there's so many different kicks that you use, that you can use, and it just depends on the elements that you mix around the kick and the entire track. So it's not only just the kick, but it does give us an estimate into what direction we need to be headed. So let's see if we can find kicks that are similar to this one without using this one. I mean, like if we want to, then we could just use it. But for now, I'm gonna reference a few different kicks. So let us load up a drum rack. MIDI instruments, that's an instruments. Drum rack, load that onto this MIDI track that I've previously created here called drum rack. What's this guy doing? Let's delete that. And within this drum rack, we're gonna drag in this kick that we've just resampled. So this is our resampled kick. Let's also name that resampled kick. Kick, there we go. And it's also resampled kick. Now we get to copy the span from the original layer. And now we can delete this track here too. And you know what, let's actually keep this track for now, just in case. Load up a span here. So let's see how this sounds if we play a 4 to the floor pattern. Let's start by drawing in a single kick here. So we're going to create a MIDI clip. Make sure it's 4 to the floor. There we go. Loop this up. So I just highlighted it and hit Command L. Now I'm going to drag this. Oops. Command L. There we go. Now you see it's looped up. The MIDI clip is looped up. Yeah, it practically sounds the same. But again, let's see if we can create an estimate. Create a similar sounding kick. It's pretty quiet, so let's boost it up here. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to use span for this actually. It's not as accurate as I like using it on buses and mixing, aka mastering tracks. So let's look for a different kick. Now we know what to pay attention to, right? Kind of like the squelchy transient at the beginning. This one sounded somewhat similar. Not as squelchy, but it's okay. There we go. This one's actually also called squelch. Now I'm going to go... Oops. Something fell over in the other room. Let's go into sample packs, kicks volume 1. And continue to search. This one sounds good. Let's reference. Oh, this one has a harsh transient. This one's good. You can also see it's quite similar. So now you know how to choose kicks just by referencing, spending a bit of time going through individual kick tracks or reference tracks, resampling kicks to see how they look like, and then just go through an assortment of kicks that you already have within one of your sample libraries and save the kicks that work for you. I get a lot of people asking me, how do you choose the right kick? How do you do it? This is the process that's behind choosing the right kick. And even then, I still switch out the kicks continuously through the creation process. So it's always trial and error. Oops. Okay, so I would choose a different kick that sounds similar to this one perhaps. I like this one a lot. Favorita's kind of stubby. Let's stay with even. And if we dial in on the frequency, oops, this is not the right kick. I need to sneeze. Walla bila. Okay. So let's drag and drop this kick into this track over here so we get to see the difference between kick A and kick B. Looks quite similar. I feel like this one's a bit squelchier. This one looks a bit more evened out. But it does look similar in the sense that there's a quiet transient in the beginning, slight dip here, and then it gradually fades out. Perhaps we might shorten it out a bit, so length is another thing that I'd like to pay attention to when it comes to kicks. This one is exactly an 1/8 note long, so we have to make sure that this kick also is about an 1/8 note long. So I'll set it to one-shot mode so it doesn't click at the end. Make sure that it's a bit faded out here. Perfect. So now we can delete this track. We don't need it anymore. So we have our kick. Let's actually remove the span here. Now give the track another play and let's look for the next element. Let's go for the toms. That's the next bass heavy element. This sounds okay. This is that tom groove in the background. Doo-doom, doo-doom, doom. So let's try our best to recreate that tom groove here. We just need a simple MIDI track for that. See how it sounds. I feel like they're very tonal. This classic mid-range-ish toms. Let's see if we can get close to them. And they're very long, they're not so short. This one could be okay. So a number 8 is good. I feel like Daydreamer does have good ones, but we could also check out Azhar. Those are the kicks. This one's good. But very short, unfortunately. Okay, let's go back to Daydreamer. Yeah, I like number 8. So let's take 8. You know that it's in the key of B. Let's make sure that it's mono. And when the toms, the waveform looks like it's stacking each other, like it's here. I remember using a frequency shifter while creating these toms, and these shifts the phase strangely, so it gives a more stereo sound. But I'm going to start with mono here, which is why I've loaded a utility after the tom. Again, hit it, put it to one-shot mode, fade out at the end. And now let's get that groove right. Let's make sure we dial this track down a bit and play it together with the original. Headphones so we can hear what we're doing here. Let's give it a bit of an attack here too, fade in so we don't have that click, that transient inside. Duplicate. Oops. This is about right. Now let's pay attention to how the groove continues, the tom groove. Okay, and then this one's blended out. Consolidate these clips. Okay, I think that's it. That should be it. I'll play these two together. Okay, that should be enough for now. There's so much percussion going on in the background, so much subtle percussion. But I want to get to the shakers now. And what I'd like to do for that is to, again, let's actually duplicate this track here and take this section and consolidate it. Now I'm going to load up another multi-band. Multi-band presets. What am I doing? Audio effects, multi-band. Load it onto this layer here. Solo the highs. And now select the right frequency range until I just hear what I need to hear, which is the hi-hats. Right, and now I'm gonna freeze track, flatten track. So now we get to see the structure of the hi-hat groove. Let's play that together with our loop here. Now what we're going to do is drag this down like this and reference the groove. So this is so we have a shaker playing every 8th note that looks like it's the same shaker each and every single time. So we're going to look for one that sounds similar. We want to take it step by step, right? So let's go into, I'm going to use Tulum since it's the newest pack that I've released. Link down below. Let's see which one comes the closest to this kind of shape. So it looks like there's a bit of a slope, like which is very usual for shakers. Let's give it another play here. So let's go into narrowest. Okay, this sounds somewhat similar. So what I'm going to do is actually place this manually within the audio track. and then just adjust it accordingly. Make sure that it's playing about the same length. We can do that by warping the sample. So we make sure that it's playing where it needs to, right there. This is the shaker starting point. Now we're just gonna go here, warp. Complex should be okay. And we're gonna exit this warping panel and then drag the sound until it is approximately the right length. And we just need the first little hit here. So this is what we're looking for. Maybe we could pitch it up a bit. And I'm hitting, on Windows it's Control and Spacebar to only play this highlighted selection. And I can hit Control Spacebar over and over. And it'll only play that section once. Instead of going, I didn't get it right. Spacebar, spacebar, spacebar. It's just so awkward. So Control and Spacebar, best. And now you can see that there's a bit of a remainder here at the end, which is okay though. I feel like this one also has that. See a bump here, and another little bump here on the right side. So that's okay. It's actually very similar sound, so that's great. Now let's make sure that we get the placement of each and every single shaker right. Okay, let's place it manually. I like doing this manually because sometimes the shakers are placed off grid. They're not always placed perfectly on the grid. Some artists like to do this, I don't know why. But this is just a procedure that I like to copy, and then I take the entire section, consolidate it by hitting Control or Command J. Make sure that we don't have any low end in our shaker. Okay, so we have that main shaker here already. That's great. Now we need those offbeat shakers. So this would be, there's a bit of a percussion here too, which is okay. We're still looking for the hi-hats, right? This is the kick. That's just the transient of the kick, so we don't need to pay attention to that. Let's see how our groove sounds right now. Very basic. So what makes this stand out is the secondary shaker, the chick 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 chick. What is going on here? It's also a shaker. So this would be the second shaker. I don't feel like it's there. It's like really quiet, but let's give the original track a playthrough and see what we can get out of it. Yeah, there's a lot of percussions there. But there's that chick chick chick, which is very usual for shakers. And I believe that he used the same sound, to be honest, the same shaker. Therefore, we're just going to go into MIDI. We're going to create a MIDI track. Take a slice from our original shaker and just drag it down here. Right click, crop sample. Dial in on the region that we want. And now create MIDI tracks accordingly. Let's check if the live stream's okay. Everything's okay. Again, hello to everyone who's there. Okay, so how is this playing? There's one before, right here. So it's da da da. There's three different shakers playing that add to the groove. So we're going to create a MIDI clip here. Now what we're going to do is place the shakers right where we want to have them. So one would be here, right? Command E to split. Make sure that it's quiet here, not so loud. C3 is always the root key. Take it, place it here again. Consolidate this clip so we have the 2 shakers in 1 clip. Let's dial these back down in the velocity. These are just the offbeat shaker hits, right? They're more quiet than the original one. And now let's duplicate and see how this sounds. We might not get it right from the first time, but it's worth giving it a play. Sounds very static, right? Very techno-y. We want to make sure to get that groove right. Let's consolidate. Loop this section here. Let's play the original track again. These are much more quiet, actually. Take out the highs from the shaker. Maybe it's a bit too harsh as well. Do the same for these guys. Cut the lows, take out a bit of the highs. Still sounds so full. Holy moly. We'll get there. Like this kick also has a bit more sub. I think I took out too much here. Let's see if we can add in shakers manually. So I'm going to take this guy. Maybe we can split this and then create drums to new MIDI track. Let's see if we can export some of the drums from the original stem. Again, it might not work from the beginning, but we're just testing out. Oh, that's interesting. It also gives us the groove of the hi-hats here. So what we could do is also take this MIDI perhaps and put it down here. Make sure that it's always playing on C3. That's interesting. Yeah, it gets closer. So there's, as you can see, a bit more going on than just one shaker before and one shaker after. For my ear, it sounded like this. What I love about drums to MIDI is it already gives you the velocity information as well. And you can see these are the main shakers playing. So as we already have one, we might as well just blend this one out. Now quantize it. So we're going to go into 16th. See if quantization helps. Yeah, I think it does. Let's compare again. See if we can replace the second sound now with another one perhaps. So we still have the original here, which is okay. I'm just going to replace it. And I'm taking my time with this, as you can see, because this is basically 90% of the work comes from just getting the right sounds together. I feel like there's a note missing here somewhere. This one, I believe, is just not right here. Or is it? Yeah, this is right. Continue. Of course, there's a lot more in the original. I feel like there's more shaker layers. Let's fiddle around with the shaker sound a bit more here. I feel like there's also a bit of groove here too. What happens if we blend these in? This one's interesting. But again, I feel like these are not necessary. Duplicate this. Now we can mess around with the loops, I think. Let's see. Oops. Holy moly. See. How do we get an overview of the frequency spectrum and the... Let's see. I think Imager. Imager? Is it Imager? I don't know. No, I don't think Imager is the right thing to use. Maybe it is. I don't know. Let's see. Let's just blend in the hi-hats, or you know what? Let's not do that. Let's actually use the Imager on this track here. So we know how much of it's quite stereo. This one's a bit more mono. Let's see how we're doing here. Just to get an estimate of, we need a bit more stereo information within our sound. So let's group these, paste the ozone imager here. Oh, I feel like this one's really thin. It's playing on C3 though. I feel like it's a bit off grid too. It's not entirely on the grid. That's weird. Even though I quantized it, that's odd. Let's see, let's delete these guys here. Like this. And let's just go in manually then. So this should be placed correctly, I think, yes? Yeah, we need to do this manually because not always does audio to MIDI do the job perfectly straight from the beginning. So weird, dude. I don't like it. Someone's so off. It's like it has a bit of groove inside. It's because of these, I think because of these guys here. I think it's just because of the placements of the notes. That's weird. Or maybe it's because the shaker sound is... Yeah. The start position of the shaker sound matters. Do a comparison here. Quick little comparison here. I know it's really technical. We're still in a pretty technical phase here. So this is this one. This is this one. It looks kind of similar, I would say. This one sounds so static though. Let's pull it back up to C3. And now what we're going to do is just add an LFO tool to the group here so we get more movement in this sound. You can also use AutoPan. There's a ton of tools that do this LFO thing. I just feel like I have the most control with this one here. We're not going to add it to the group. We're going to add it to just the lower track. Let's see. Let's blend this one out. Does help a bit. Get that. So the drums to MIDI track we can now delete. And at this point, I would take authentic shakers. So we've worked with samples the whole time, but it's always best to combine those samples with some type of organic loop, something that was preferably recorded in a studio, or handheld shakers always do the best. So these are the... Let's see how these ones sound. Yeah, this couldn't do the job actually. Dial it down. Yeah, it's definitely that layer. Do an A-B comparison. How loud are the shakers in comparison to the kick? About 6 dB of difference. The kick is peaking at... Right now it looks like minus 45, minus 44.5. In the top right corner you can see it here. Of course it's not always accurate, but I just use it to estimate. If we get minus 51. 6 to 7 dB difference. So let's give it another play here. Do I have a group channel for these? No, I don't. So I need to put the span on the master. This one's peaking at minus 47, 54. So the ratio should be okay. Let's just give it another playthrough with these shakers here. Yeah, it looks about right. Looks like the kick is a bit louder than the shakers. And that's the same for both sounds. So let's actually duplicate this and see if we can layer both of these shakers together. I'm going to take the first one from the first half, the second one from the second half, and slightly pan them. Let's start mixing in the first one here. And now the second one. I'm going to tune up the master channel so you can hear whatever I'm doing better. And the reference track we're going to tune down a bit. Hello? And now we're going to check if an LFO tool can be added to these organic shakers. So let's call this one Shakers All. And then we're going to call these ones shakers organic. So org. Let's make these ones another color. As a matter of fact, let's do like this first. Give these color like this. This one we're going to give another color. Doesn't really matter here. Just so we can differentiate them visually. Now load up an LFO tool to the group, the organic group. And see how much of it we could actually mix in here. The kick's bothering me though, it's a bit loud. Just giving a bit more space for the kick and the groove. Yeah. Now what we can do is always replace the original sound, or do I want to do that now? Get the mixing right. Okay, the shakers I feel like are already on point here. Let's move this one up here. Yes, sir. So we can delete the reference, the high layer reference. Continue referencing here. Switch out the kick for the original one. That does sound a bit different, to be honest. In terms of the volume, I'm going to dial it down here. But we're going to keep our kick for now. Okay. Notice how the clap is barely even noticeable. Like, you can't even say that there's a clap in here, but there is one. Every second kick sounds different. Every second kick has a bit of like a rim shot or something that identifies the clap, or identifies itself as a clap. So let's try to get that right. For now, let's create a new audio track. I want to work with audio for this. So where's the clap usually placed in the frequency spectrum? Usually alongside the mids and a bit to the highs. So what we're going to do is duplicate or cut this section, duplicate it. Again, consolidate. Load up another multi-band. Let's go into audio effects, multi-band. Multi-band compression standard. No, just multi-band dynamics, the default preset, which is this one. And now let's solo the mids. And now using lows and highs, we can dial in on that clap. Second layer, of course. This is optional. You don't need to do this, especially with a groove that is this full straight from the beginning of the track. It's hard to just identify the clap because there's always some other instruments bleeding, like the shakers, bleeding into the clap. But it's more towards, where's the clap the loudest? Hear that? It's getting kind of quiet. There we go. So then we can again freeze. So the clap is at its loudest between 440 Hertz and 3.6 kilohertz. 440, 3.6. That's the ideal range for the clap. And now we can take this as a reference point. If we want to reference technically, of course, always reference using your ears. That's the best tool that you can use. If you feel like a sound sounds right, then use that one. I always go after what sounds better to my ears rather than what looks good on the multiband spectrum technically. It's always what music is rather about. So I'm going to flatten this track too. Now we're going to take the clap. So the clap usually plays on, where does the clap play? There we have it. So we can already see, oh, my session is freezing. Now it's back. There we go. So this is the clap. Clap 1. Let's see how it's being played exactly. So it's playing right here. It's very short. That's probably why it's very unnoticeable. Very short clap. Very, very usual for this type of genre. So let's cut the clap. Cut the clap. And cut it here. You know what? Let's take this one too. See if it's a different one. Is this a clap? No, this one's not a clap. So interesting. So there's some offbeat claps as well. So, or some percussion. Interesting. This clap is so short, it's not even a 30-second note long, not like a, oh my gosh, it's so short. So now we know what to pay attention to. If a sound is this short, it doesn't really matter exactly which type of sound you use because it's basically just going to be a short transient. But we now know that we need to look for a sound that is short. So that's the most important thing. I just showed you the very long way of doing it. But usually I would just pay attention. Is it short? Is it long? And then choose a clap accordingly. So let's go into one shots. I want to choose a clap. That is more on the mid-range. Not so much highs. Let's pay attention to the original reference again. Something like this, yeah. Let's go for this. Now place it accordingly. We want to place it right here. So this would be the reference clap. Let's place it here. And this is the clap that we have now. So we're going to do our best to get as close to it as possible. Let's go into narrowest. Cut the clap here. And what we're going to do is just select the very beginning of the sound. So it's just like similar to the original waveform. So it looks like this. Now let's dial back our clap here and place our clap on the every second fourth bar. Oh no, that's not right. It's so fiddly. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's not right too. This should be right. Give it an AB. Let's load up an EQ here so we get to see how the frequencies are here, and then EQ here. Of course, the highs are missing a bit more here because I EQ'd it or stripped it from the original. So it's along this 1K. Let's low cut it here. And now and let's layer this with another sound. So what I'm going to do to consolidate is consolidate, hitting Command J. Then we see our clap that's resampled here. And now we're going to duplicate this layer. Or, no, actually we're going to create a new audio track. And we're going to add another layer to the clap to make it sound a bit fuller or give it a different tone. Like this one. Go into narrowest. Layer it with the original one. Make sure that the placement is correct. Slice up the clap a bit here. Dial it down. Place it accordingly. So let's see how this sounds now. Completely different tone, right? Then again, we can always take the sound. So I selected these two, hit Shift and Tab. Now pitching them up. Give it a bit of a higher tone. Sounds a bit fuller than just having one layer. So we're gonna again duplicate it once, select this guy here, Command J to consolidate, and then play that with the rest. Call these claps. It's barely in the mix, right? Yeah, it's about the same, similar, very similar. We're just looking for an estimate. What the? Aha, there's something else going on here. What the? Am I doing this right? Now I should have the right toms, right? Yeah. Upon listening to it a bit more carefully, I figured that there is one more tom placed in the sound. Yes. Cool. So at this point, I could use loops because I've put enough time into creating my own little shaker loop. I'm just going to stack loops until it sounds full. This is a rather intuitive process of just giving it a feel. Let's play this with the entire loop here, and let's dial down the headphone, the Q level here. Let's add this to our original shaker groove here. Go through some tops, maybe some top loops that I've prepared. That was cool. Let's go from the bottom. Yeah, this one's just claps so cool. I'm gonna take this one and put it here. Dial it back down. Start from -infinity. And then again, we could take the... Oh, it's already on the group, so that's all right. But we could take another one, another LFO tool, copy it, paste it here. Depending on how much we'd like this sound to be playing on its own or ducked. This is what I would refer to as ducked, as being part of the chicka 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 groove. Right now it's playing on its own. Right now it's melted with the other elements. 100 is too much. That's barely even noticeable, actually. You want to use these top loops as a layer to your pre-existing loops. Ah, we're getting there. The details in the percussion. There's so much detail in this percussion. It's unimaginable, dude. But it feels like there's some kind of a weird sounds going on in the background. Let's do the same trick. So we might... percussion is kind of hard to take them out with multiband, or to find them using multiband dynamics. I'm just going to try to get a feel for them here, because percussion is so divided along the entire frequency spectrum. We can still give it a try using multiband again. Or I have an idea, dude. Oh. This is gonna be the highlight, dude. My voice crackle. Regroover. This is not an ad for this plugin, and I don't really recommend anybody who's just getting started with music production to grab all these different plugins, because it can really throw your workflow off. But it's a nice way to identify percussion from a groove like this. Move. Oh, okay, wait, actually, how do I use this? Adjust the markers, you can modify split results. This is a fun plugin though, to be honest. It lets you split. It's kind of like a AI machine learning type thing, so it identifies the frequency spectrum and the individual elements, the layers, and then it dials that, or splits those layers, similar to how we've just split the layers with multiband. This does it in a very own way. So for those of you being scared of AI, don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's just a workflow enhancer. What's going on with my voice today, dude? It's like a teenager. Getting these voice crackles all the time. But let's get back to the original layer, which was... Where's the plugin, dude? What the fudge? Okay, I just lost the plugin. Where did I load it? What the heck? I put it on the... Oh, I put it on a separate channel. I don't want that. So we're going to put Regroover onto our reference track here. Only audio effects can be inserted into... Okay. Sehr gut. Looks like we can't do that because we are only able to use them on a MIDI track. So we're going to put this on a MIDI track. No worries, dude. And now, how do I export samples again? Yeah, using this knob over here. Okay, that's good to know. Again, let's duplicate the original layer that we have here. Consolidate this section. Command J, by the way. And let's drag it into this guy. Sorry, at the moment we only support WAV or AIFF files. Please convert your files. Okay, but it should be a WAV file. So let's see if we have it on our PC. Beatport downloads. Let's drag it directly from the thing here. Please select the shorter clip. Okay, that's weird. How do I get the shorter? Because Ableton's not allowing this. Ableton for some reason doesn't convert it to the right. I want to show you guys this though. Sorry, at the moment we only support it. Okay, let's see if we can drag this guy in here. No, we cannot. Then we're gonna have to use Audacity. Not the web browser, please. Audacity. Audacity is like my backup DAW. If something doesn't work in Ableton Live, like it is right now, I'm gonna import it into Audacity and simply take a short loop here and Command X, delete, Command V, file, export as WAV. And now we're gonna export it to our desktop and call it Audacity Shaker Export. So we can simply re-export it into our DAW. Let's close it off for now. I don't think we need it. We don't need to save it as well. Let's go to my messy desktop here. There's the shaker loop and re-import it into our track here. Wait, we want to re-import it right here. Let's put it here for now. Okay, so let's make sure that we put it here. Please select the shorter clip. That's weird. Okay, then let's select a shorter clip like this one here, consolidate, and put it here again. Jesus Christ, mate. Jesus. Okay, let's give it another try. Let's see. It works best with top loops that you have in your sample library, with shorter little sounds, as it seems. Let's see if we can drag it low. There we go. Put it here. Select the shorter clip. Okay, we're gonna go back into Audacity and just export a small little snippet of the same sound. Excuse me for this be taking this long. Expected it to work, but I really want to show you this trick because it really is worth it. If you want to reference tracks, I'm gonna scroll. Maybe just select the first. I don't know. Let's just play it here. Okay. This should be enough. So again, Command X, Command A, delete, Command V, file, export as WAV, and let's overwrite the original file. Where is that here? There we go. Yes, let's replace it. Let's minimize it for now. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. Let's take it and put it here. There we go. So it works best with short loops that are in WAV file format. I'm gonna close this guy here. Oops, reduce the volume. And then you can see it splits it down into the individual layers. So this is the kick with the clap. This is the shaker. Look how clean it is. So if you'd like the shaker, you can just take it and... How do I drag it again? Oh gosh, I didn't use this guy for such a long time. And you can... Low percussion layer. High percussion layer. Now tell me if that isn't awesome, dude. You can even adjust the analysis here. Okay, I'm pretty newbie when it comes to this guy here. Oh, jeez. How do I export these guys again? I used this back in the day almost on every little track. You can mute individual layers like this. So you have just the percussion or just the kick and the clap. Pick hi-hats. And then we know what to reference, which is pretty cool. But I'm having a hard time exporting these sounds. I don't know why it isn't working exactly. Has anybody used this plugin before? Drag straight from the desktop or Ableton browser instead of timeline. So that was from previously, right? Clip length. Export, maybe? I know that you could just drag and drop these sounds. I'm pretty sure of that, but I forgot how to do that. Let's see. Maybe we can just... Let's see if we could open up that tutorial panel again. No, it does not. Jenna! Okay, let's see. We're gonna do it the manual way. It doesn't matter. Usually you can just drag and drop these clips. I don't know, for some reason it isn't working right now, but that's nothing that we need to worry about. Let's just for now hit resampling and just individually resample our tracks into a new track. That sucks. I used to use this every day and now I forgot how to do that. Let's put it back to 0 here and let's play. So this is the low layer, right? Let's solo the low layer for now and resample. Let's play this preferably with its entire length here. Like this. There we go. Okay. This is good. And now we're going to do this. Okay, let's call this one low. I'm going to create a new audio track and call this one high. Do the same here. Of course, it's a bit off sync, but that doesn't matter. Let's delete the Regroover layer for now. This plugin was pretty annoying today, I'm going to be honest. But hey, we got what we needed, so that's what I wanted to show you. Now we just have to sync it to the timeline. It's best to use grooves. You know what? I'm going to load it up again. There we go. Okay, 3 things to try. Hit in space and adjust the markers. So you can adjust each and every single looped phrase using these guys at the top. You can split and modify the results using the eraser tool. Okay. Oh, click and hold to drag sounds into the expansion pad. But I know that you can also quickly extract your patterns by clicking and holding the pattern icon. Okay, but I think you're going to have to... Let's give it another try. I think it... Or outside of Regroover, yeah. The bottom panel, I think we have to select. Let's try it out with another loop, another top loop. So let's say we have a more complex groove like this one. I'm going to put it into here. Oops. Shakers. Percussion. Low percussion. Percussion and shakers. Pretty cool. Maybe we have to go into this mode here. Oh, okay. Now I see. All right. There we go. That's how you do it. That's very useful. So you have to go into this mode for some reason and export the entire clip, which is kind of odd because I believe that you could also do it for the individual layers, but hey, maybe that's just not the case. Clip length, 1 bar. Yeah, but that's the way to do it. I think that's the way to go. Yeah. Okay, sure. We figured it out. Regroover Pro is a pretty cool plugin. Let's delete it for now. So this is the original. Let's drag it to its original length. Hello. There we go. Let's hit Command A, Control U. And A, Control U. Actually, this is high. This is low. Let's see if it's synced up. Oh, notice how much the percussion does. And I'd select my favorite phrases. And go into the individual phrases. Let's hit beats. Maybe beats is better. Do the same for the high layer. Take these, Command Shift U, beats, transients. And now let's right click, drums to new MIDI track. Let's see what it gives us. It's probably going to sound like crap. Yes, it does. And then you can replace these sounds with different ones. Or completely just take away this guy, load up a drum rack. So I would go into Instrumentalismo. So it's playing F sharp and D. Let's make sure to consolidate this one here as well. Command U. And let's load up some perks. I have some in Tulum as well. I made sure to include a lot of those weird percussions. So F sharp. And which one was it as well? D. Let's see. Let's mute out the first one here. Turn up the overall volume so you can hear it better. And what you could do is also take another sound, place it here, and simply take these guys and every now and then just place them differently. So you get a bit of more randomness in the groove. This would be a perfect clap too. Do the same. Let's compare that. That's how you get that high fidelity percussion. So, for all of you who are so scared of AI, see it as an opportunity to integrate into your existing workflow and actually enhance these processes that would usually not be so easy or not possible at all. And everybody's so freaking scared of this AI. Even I was scared of it. I was like, oh my gosh, is it going to take away my job? Oh my gosh, I'm not a music producer anymore. AI is going to do it. No, dude. No. Chillax. Chillax. Just use it. Get curious about what tools are out there and have fun integrating them into your workflow. Because ultimately, where's the fun in having AI that just does everything for you? You just type in, okay, imagine a command prompt opens up on my window. Please make a percussion groove for me that sounds exactly the way I want it to without me having to do anything. That's boring. There's no fun in that. It's just like if you want to learn a piano and you put in the time, the effort to learn it, it's much more satisfying to be able to learn or to be able to play the piano afterwards instead of just having an automatic chord program write you the chords, right? So it's more fun and more creative knowing the process behind what's going on. I'm going to be honest, I'm a lazy producer. I use AI or these weird tools that you see every now and then all the time because I just want to get to my result quicker. And it's okay to use them. But it's always worth knowing the process that's behind creating this type of a groove, let's say, from scratch. This is a very technical way of doing it. These Café de Anatolia artists might have completely different workflows, and it's always worth learning them, right? Let's see if we can find another perc groove. This one's kind of cool. I'll just add it in here. So this one's that I created manually. Ultimately, what I wanted to say is that don't be afraid of AI taking over music producer's job. Be happy that it's there to enforce our creativity and make us come up with ideas that we otherwise wouldn't have come up with. Everybody's so in panic because of this AI, and the people are using this. And there's so many marketers using AI as a business tool to just find ways to make money off of people's insecurities. People are afraid that AI is going to take their job, so everybody's looking for the newest, the best, the shortcuts to success, I guess. I don't like that. even I'm sometimes like, okay, what other AI tools are out there that I could use? But it's always as a way to enforce my workflow, enforce my creativity. This one we could perhaps mix in very quietly. Put it onto beats. I actually like my kit more. This might work. Pitch it up too. Oh, polyrhythm. There we go, son. It feels like it's off grid. Make it really quiet. Fun fact about this Cafe de Anatolia mix, by the way. I want you guys to listen to the first couple of tracks. I think I heard some sounds from Azhar inside. Which is pretty cool to know that artists are using the sounds. I'm really happy. Really happy about that. My favorite label, one of my favorites, All Day I Dream, Cafe de Anatolia, those two. Like the organic house, chill, lounge music. I love those so much. There we go, son. Alright, so there's another element that I feel like could make it easier for us to move on to the next stage of the track. Which is that background. You hear that? Let's see if it progresses into the track the further we continue. Yeah. That's like a looped chord or something that is really ambient. I'm gonna open the window really quick. It's really hot in here. This is a fun groove though. Do a bit of stretching on the side. Oh, boy. But before we go on to the next stage of the track, I want to have a bit of fun with this one. See if I can use another sample library that I like. I think, which one was this? Audio Tent, I like their samples a lot too. Really, really high quality sounds. can tell that they put a lot of love into their productions. But they're very techno. There's one pack by them that is called Origin. That's the most organic one that I could find. But I kind of like the fact that they are within their niche, very techno-y. See? I like their sub-grooves. Could use something like this, just as a bonus little loop here in the background. Interesting. High quality, man. Interesting. It's very similar sounding already. I feel like the kick is the only major difference. Let's see if we could make something work with the other kick. Way too loud though. It's a good kick though. Like if you mix it in properly. Even though the waveform is so weird, look at it. Like, what is this? It still fits. It still fits into the mix. Their kick is a bit louder. Both are very good. I like this loop. Let's see if we can add it to the Shaker's Organic as another layer. Beats 16th. I'm sorry if I just exploded your ears. So this is going to be like so much low end here. Beats. I actually just like the clap. I put it to 4th. Because I want to emphasize the claps. And now the claps I'm going to put into a roomy reverb. Like this. I'm going to avoid using Convolution Reverb Pro because that sometimes crashes my session. I don't know why. Additionally, this loop contains a bit of a hi-hat sample that plays alongside the kicks. So it's like a very organic acoustic layer. Notice how that adds to our existing clap loops. It does sound different than the original. It adds like really fat organic layer. Sometimes it's a bit too much. That depends on the style that you're aiming for. but I like it in this case. It's very, very good. All right, I think I've spent enough time on the drums. You can see that just the drums alone. How long am I streaming? Just the drums alone can... I don't think there's a... Where does it say how long I'm streaming? Okay, I forgot. But just the drums alone can take a very long time to get right. And it's okay. Spend time on your drums, dude. Ah, juicy. Look at all those layers. All right, man. Melodies. Oh, there we go. MIDI track. Diva. Am I going to use Diva for this, man? I'm so bored of using it. I always use Diva. Let's use Omnisphere. Let's make sure to save the session beforehand because sometimes Omnisphere makes my PC crash. I still haven't upgraded. Never change a running system. But I believe I need to change it. I'm thinking of switching to Mac because it supposedly has a bit more processing power, in the hopes that I don't have to deal with crashing sessions every now and then. Let's go for the atmosphere library that I have here. Textures playable might be a bit too much though. Let's give it a reference sound. Let's see how this chord is sounding like. I need to stretch really quick. Always remember to stretch while you're sitting for longer periods of time. Very important. Oh, we're actually clipping with this track. That's not so good. There we go. I want to see how the track is in frequency spectrum first. Control. That's how we get this. So obviously the melody is somewhere between 200 Hertz, but it's only noticeable in the later part of the track. There's a lead-ish melody. That's the one that I'm looking for. That's playing between 1 and 2K. So 1.5. But we're looking for that intro, right? Here, 600. Gonna crank it down here, the Omnisphere layer. Let's give it a try, man. I don't know. That's it, guys. We got it. No, this is not what I'm looking for. Celtic Morning. No, I don't want to loop it. Legato it. For some reason we're clipping. For some reason. I think I know the reason, Jedi. I don't normally like doing this whole limiter thing, don't get me wrong. I'm just doing it for the sake of the live stream. Usually I would just turn up my audio interface, because in my experience these streams can get quite quiet sometimes. Nemo's calling me. Nemo, I'm gonna have to call you back later though. I bet he's watching the stream right now, trying to stream snipe me. Yeah, Nemo. I'm not sure if it's the right sound to use. It's actually absolutely the right sound to use. Cool preset. Celtic Morning. Nemo! 1 second, guys. Nemo. Nemolicious Nemo. Nemo bin gerade am Streamen. Du Stream Sniper. Okay. Let's talk later. Let's really dial down the sound here. Super massive. Do I have it? No, I do not. So let's go for black hole. Is this the right key? Be a bit too resonant though. gonna use Diva. Presets, LotusTunes. Let's go for the All Day iPad preset. Guys, give me a second. The door is ringing. One sec here. Guys, I think I'm gonna have to end the live stream now because my grandma's here and I am taking care of her at the moment. Oh, humble, humble. Yes, I'm gonna have to continue this project on a later stream. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. I think I've streamed enough today. You've learned a lot about drums. I'm gonna continue the melodies in the next session. So yeah. Thank you again, everyone, for watching. I'll see you in the next stream.